Hi, beautiful beings under the stratosphere. Happy Mother's Day. Today I'm going to share with you 4 things that might help you to have a meaningful conversation with your children, especially if they're pre-teen, which is my case, but it can be applicable for any age, and it can also be applicable to other people in other relationships. But I found it especially nice that it catered to the nervous system of a teenager because they really need this time to warm up to actually get to the topic you want. And normally the topic you want is a topic they don't want to talk about, right? So how can you get the ball rolling and having them talk about something that you know they don't want to talk about? Number 1, don't start with the topic. I think the number 1 mistake is we're so excited and also we want to get it over with. This is not the right attitude to enter a conversation with a preteen or with anyone. No one wants to feel rushed with something you're doing. I had already told her earlier, I said, I want to talk with you this evening about something. So she was already had the precursor, that I had said we're going to talk about something. So also that if they're doing something, don't spring it on them. Tell them a few hours beforehand and say, in the evening before we have dinner, I want to talk with you for a little bit. And they might roll their eyes or do their thing or whatever, but you gave them this time for their mind to adjust and know, okay, she's going to talk about me. So then what should you talk about if you're not going to talk about the thing? You can find similar things that are related to the topic that might lead into it, or you can just talk about like weather talk, things that you know are easier for her to converse or that you even know that she enjoys talking about. I was in the plan of I wanted to share with her something that made me feel stressed and uncomfortable. So I took the approach of I'll invite her first to share with me what she feels stressed and uncomfortable about. And I started off with simple things like first positive vibe, right? What are you liking in your room so far? How we set it up, and this, I like this, and what things do you think you would change or you could improve? Would make you feel better in the room. Oh, I would like this kind of curtain, and just like listen to her little ideas and stuff, because it's their space also, and it's kind of like it got set up, and then it kind of, I live in a space that is not like exactly how I would tailor it, but that's how it is, and I don't need anything fancy, but it was just showing my interest. Another nice thing I did to the start of the conversation was I opened my computer, but you can use a notepad, a note paper, and I wrote down her answers to show her that it's not just like, tell me what you'd like to change. Like, it was like, oh, this you'd like to change? I'm taking note. I'm writing it down. There's a document here now. Here's the document on my laptop. That was easier for me to type. And she's helped me with other projects before where I would type in her answers for the diagram. And so I knew she'd be familiar with that procedure also. If your child finds it offensive that you would be on your computer while talking with her, then obviously don't do that, right? Or if they don't want you, well, like, why are you writing things down? I was like, because I don't want to forget what you said, so we can make sure some of these get addressed. And then I kind of went in scale to sharing a bit of things that I would also like to be different or change, because that's all conversations are, is sharing what you like or appreciate. We should have more of those conversations. So it's not always what I don't like and what I think should be changed or what I'm unhappy with. So number 1 is don't start with the topic. Number 2 is cater to the nervous system. Throughout the conversation, as we started getting into a little bit more profound topics about staying and family and relationships and frustrations, of her friends moving on to another school, but she won't be going to that school. Taking the pauses and giving space for the nervous system, right? I didn't drill her in there. I tried to think, okay, this topic is sensitive for her. What can I ask next that will set her at ease or will give her peace to go on to the next thing? I wanted her to share with me what she was feeling, but I didn't want to override her nervous system. It wasn't, the whole point of the conversation was to get information so that we could understand each other, how we're moving forward in the next few months of our life. And if a person is too involved or feel that they've been emotionally put against the wall, revealing the vulnerability, of their feelings, then they're not going to share anymore. They might not even talk anymore. So then I had to keep this at bay and consider. At one point I thought, maybe I might not even get to the topic. That's another option. It might not happen. You'll notice there's other things going on that this one is not really the issue, right? So taking note of that, of their nervous system. Number 3, hold space for hard emotions. It kind of goes in with cater to the nervous system, except there came a point where we got to the topic, and in spite of the fact that I could clearly see that she was upset about the topic, and this was not related to the trip, it was more related to the friends and the group of people and the influence of these people that she's been around, because that was my concern was in this area and how it's affected her schooling and this and that. I just sat there and held the space, kind of like they teach you in a yoga class. If a person is unwinding and dealing, and you can ask them, is there something I can do for you? And if not, you just hold the space for them to let that unwind and happen. And it was a beautiful growing learning process to see my own daughter have emotions, feel emotions, and still be able to verbally continue to communicate throughout the emotions. For me, it was a breakthrough, because normally, even as adults, there's the traditional shutdown, or there's the leaving, right? I don't want to talk about this, so I'll just leave. Or it just happens, the dead wall silence. And I think because I sat back and didn't move in, I didn't even try to comfort her, although it was my instinct. I wanted to do that, but I said, I don't want to even make her feel any kind of pity or anything like, oh, poor you. I wanted to be like, let's hear the whole emotion come out, pull out from her. So I held this space. And then number 4 is hold your ground. So in spite of her exchange, and then I got emotional and shared my side of the perspective of the situation, we didn't change or resolve or need to flip anything. It was just, I'm recognizing what you're feeling and what you're going through. I want you to see how I feel and what I'm going through. And regardless, we're still, nobody dies, right? We're still moving forward together, but it's good to know where you stand. I respect you where you're at, and hopefully it was good for her to know where I stand and why. Instead of making up things in our mind and assuming my mother is like this, or just assuming, well, I guess my daughter's like this now, right? And just, there was some saying that I read a long time ago I can't remember how it went, but it was something like, anyone who understands the other can not hold anything against them. Like, the veil of hatred or frustration or anger, anything that you thought you felt to this person, if you understand this person, if you listen to their reasoning, even if it's as crazy as you're like, that is the craziest thing, but I understand now why, then it releases, like it clears the slate of, because you're the only one holding those confused emotions towards the other person, right? So I had this beautiful conversation. Also make time. This was a lapse of about 2 hours. And I have 2 full pages of notes. And then there came a point, obviously, where I stopped taking notes, where we really were just in the conversation then, but it helped us transition nicely into what we had to share. So that was a Mother's Day gift to me that I never had this kind of connection or conversation with my own mother, or was offered this kind of space to actually share how I felt about something. And that's all good, you know. Traditionally or generationally, those things aren't available to most of our parents. But we can break this pattern or break through this. I don't know if, like, I thought about this conversation afterwards, and I just wondered to myself, was this useful? Like, could I have been okay without this? And I think not. I think it was a really good move, because afterwards, all those things that I was thinking and feeling, and all those things that I had doubts about what she was thinking or feeling, are gone. Probably a conversation that I should have had maybe a few months ago, but it's typical that we just kind of put it off, thinking it'll dissolve. But after 2 or 3 months, if you're testing the waters of dissolving stuff and it hasn't go away, hopefully these tools can help you start the topic where you don't even talk about the topic at first. But tell them that you want to talk, so then they know, okay, I think she kind of knew, like, this can't really be what the topic is about, but okay, this is easy, so I can talk about this, right? All right, big hug, kisses, and blessings to you this Mother Day, and I'll see you soon in a session. Bye.